everyone, I'm Maddie, and today we're going to be doing a really fun, really cool take-home garden activity that you can make in your own house. That's right, growing plants inside. As long as there's sunlight, soil, and a little bit of water, you can have an indoor garden all winter long. So there's going to be a couple supplies we need today. Let's go over them. First thing we're going to need is a sheet of newspaper. This is what we're going to be using to create the containers for our plants. The next thing you're going to need is seeds. I have lettuce seeds because I want to make a tasty salad, but you can use whatever you want. There's tons of herbs and veggies you could choose from. Basil, oregano, carrots, peas, so many options. You should choose whatever tastes good to you. You're also going to need a cup. The cup is going to be used to make the shape of our pots, so try to choose something that is similar to the size of the pot you want to make. It's also helpful if the sides of the cup are straight up and down, so you can remove the cup later. Mine's actually a little bit tapered, so that'll be a little bit tricky, but it'll work. Once we create the pots, you're going to need some soil, because this is one of the key components for a healthy plant. So I've got potting soil here, but you could use anything, even something you dig up in your backyard. Then the last thing you're gonna need is water, because of course plants need water to live, and we want them to have a nice moist environment, especially when they're first sprouting. So that's all the supplies we're gonna need today. Let's get started. Kitchen garden. So first thing you're going to want to do is unfold your newspaper all the way. Mine's a square shape, so I'm just going to leave it like that. If your piece of paper is too big to work with, or you want to make a really small pot, feel free to trim it. So I'm going to fold mine down the middle so I have one long, narrow strip. Then I'm going to line my cup with the short edge. In this step, you're going to want to leave about a ½ inch to an inch of the bottom of the cup showing. That way you can pull it out later. So now I'm just going to roll along the paper until it is completely wrapped around the cup. Okay. Completely wrapped. I have a little bit of the cup showing so I can pull it out later. The next step is to take all of this extra paper and stuff it into the opening. So you stuff the paper into the opening of your cup or jar. Get it nice and packed in there. Okay. Now we can pull our cup out very gently. I kind of have to wiggle mine out since it wasn't straight edged. Okay. So if you look inside, there's still a lot of excess paper. So I'm going to set my pot down on a flat surface and use my fist to squish down that extra paper. There you go, a paper pot. So now I'm going to fill the pot with a little bit of moistened soil. It's important that the soil is moist because this is what the plant needs to grow. We don't want it to be soaking wet because then the plant could rot or maybe not even germinate. So I'm going to fill it all the way up and then pack it down a little. Perfect. Now I'm going to take my seeds and I'm going to take out, I think 3, because not every seed might germinate. So you want a little extra in there to make sure one of them germinates. They are super, super tiny. You probably can't even see them, but I promise that they're there. So using my fingers, I'm going to poke little holes in the soil for my seeds. And then I'm going to place the seeds in the holes. Once I've done that, I'm going to take a little bit more soil and just put a really, really thin layer of soil on the top. And next you just water it a little bit, and then your sprouts are ready to germinate. Now that you've got your seeds planted, let's go over a couple growing tips. First one is make sure you place your plant next to a very sunny window. A lot of times, windows that are facing south get the most sun, so I recommend doing that, although any window will work pretty good. The next tip is putting a tray underneath your pot so that water can't leak onto the table or counter or window wherever you're keeping it. I'm using a tray, but you could definitely use a dinner plate, a bowl, anything you can find around the house. And then the last tip is to water your plant whenever the soil feels dry to the touch. Right now, mine still feels pretty moist, so I'm not going to water it. It's okay for plants to dry out a little bit between waterings because this prevents it from rotting. Using these tips, I know you guys will grow some amazing vegetables and herbs to use in your kitchen, and I can't wait to see your pictures of them. Thanks for doing this garden take-home activity with me. I hope you had fun, and I hope your plants grow big and tall. One more thing about these awesome little pots. They're biodegradable, which means that when they're outside and they get wet and are in the sunshine, they will decompose or break down really quickly. So, if you take care of your plants all winter long, you can take this entire thing, plant and pot, and stick it right in the ground for your summer garden. This is a great way to reduce waste from plastic, and it saves money.